Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're doing good. Let's talk about the newest NBA 2K26 update, version 4.0, because a lot of the changes here quietly affect how the game feels, not just what's written in the notes. First thing you're going to notice if you play regularly is how the game feels moment to moment, especially on offense and defense. And that's where 2K made some really important adjustments. Shot defense is more nuanced now, and instead of everything feeling like either a perfect contest or no contest at all, the game now reads light pressure in different strengths. That means when a defender is kind of there but not fully locked in, you'll feel that difference more clearly. Shots don't randomly feel punished or rewarded anymore, and it makes jump shooting feel more honest, especially if you're someone who takes smart shots and knows how to create space instead of just hunting animations. Another massive change that a lot of players are already appreciating is what they did to dunk defense. For a long time, defenders chasing from behind could basically ruin dunks in a way that didn't make much sense, turning what should be a strong finish into a weak layup just because of a bump animation. That's been cleaned up, and now if you've actually beaten your man and you're going up strong, the game respects that more. It doesn't mean defense is useless, but it does mean you're no longer getting punished for doing the right thing on offense. Rebounding also feels different in a subtle but important way. The ball physics around the rim have been adjusted, so you're not seeing those wild launches off the iron that send the ball halfway to the three-point line for no reason. Rebounds drop more naturally, positioning matters more, and bigs who actually box out are finally getting rewarded more consistently. It's one of those changes you don't fully notice right away, but after a few games, you can tell something feels more grounded. If you play a lot of one-on-one modes, there's a rule change that really shifts how those games play out. Offensive 3 seconds is now active in certain 1v1 environments, which means you can't just camp under the rim and wait for an easy finish. You actually have to move, reset, and think about spacing, which makes those matchups feel more competitive and less cheesy. It's a small rule tweak, but it completely changes the flow of those games. Moving over to the city, performance and stability were a big focus here. A lot of players were dealing with random hangs, visual issues, or weird transitions between modes, and this update cleans up a ton of that. Loading feels smoother, moving between different areas is more consistent, and some long-standing issues with clothing visuals and face scans have been addressed. It's not flashy, but it makes spending time in the city less frustrating overall. There were also fixes tied to switching between modes, especially when going from MyTEAM into the city. Some players were losing progress or not getting the correct reputation boosts, and that's now been corrected. Those kinds of bugs hurt motivation more than anything, so it's good to see them finally patched. MyCAREER got a handful of important fixes too. Progression systems are more stable, badge-related issues were cleaned up, and some strange edge cases where attributes or perks weren't applying correctly have been resolved. If you've ever felt like your build wasn't performing the way the numbers said it should, this update helps bring things more in line with expectations. MyTEAM players weren't left out either. Menu navigation is smoother, certain auction house protections were added so you don't accidentally lose cards you care about, and visual errors with overall ratings and card displays have been fixed. Coach boosts and lineup logic are more reliable now, which makes managing your team feel less like fighting the interface and more like actual strategy. On the presentation side, there are a lot of subtle but meaningful updates. Courts, arenas, and uniforms received corrections from floor scaling to logo placement, and player likenesses were adjusted with updates to hair, tattoos, and facial details. These changes don't affect gameplay directly, but they help the league feel more current and more authentic, especially if you're someone who notices the details. PC players also got some love in this patch. Stability improvements, performance tuning, and fixes for online issues related to keyboard and mouse input were included, which should make online play more reliable. PC versions don't always get equal attention, so this was a welcome addition. Overall, this update isn't about reinventing the game, it's about refining it. It smooths out rough edges, fixes things that have been frustrating players for months, and quietly improves how the game feels from possession to possession. When updates like this land, you might not notice every single change immediately, but after a few sessions, you start realizing you're enjoying the game more and getting annoyed less. And honestly, that's exactly what a good patch should do.